All right, I think we are good to go. What is going on, guys? My name is K-Dog's Kennel, and welcome to the start, or I should say the revive. Whoops, hang on, I gotta, there we go. Have the resurrection, if you will, of a series I started probably 2 or 3 years ago called Do You Remember, which is wrestling's most shocking incidents and things that have happened in the world of pro wrestling. It started with Owen Hart's death, and then the last one I did was Rikishi being the wheelman. That started the whole Stone Cold Steve Austin getting run down Survivor Series in 1999. So it's been a super long time since I've done one of these. So I figured, Big Baby, what's up, buddy? I'm at work. I'm actually on my last break. I'm like, you know what? I haven't uploaded a video for a couple days because my work schedule has kind of been all over the place. I wanted to get something uploaded for you guys today. So we're going to discuss the Nexus. The Nexus was a heel stable that was established in the late spring of 2010. This group was spearheaded by Wade Barrett, who had won season 1 of NXT. And on July 7th, 2010, Wade Barrett would appear at the end of the main event. I believe it was John Cena and CM Punk. It was in the main event of that Raw. Actually, let me set this down a little bit so that way I can... There we go. I don't have my PC set up yet. That's why I got to kind of resort to these kind of videos, making them on my phone for the time being. But so at the end of the main event of John Cena and CM Punk, Wade Barrett stands at the top of the ramp. And of course, again, Wade Barrett had won a WWE contract. He had won season 1 of NXT, the rookie show that the winner was guaranteed a roster spot. And it was unique because Barrett on his upper arm, he had an armband, a black armband that had a black and yellow N, which nobody really kind of knew at first, but at Barrett's behest, the rest of the rookies from season 1 jumped the barricade, laid waste to CM Punk, laid waste to John Cena, and literally would destroy everything in the ring, around the ring, what have you. Daniel Bryan would actually go as far as to take the tie of Justin Roberts. Yo, Loner, hello. Would take the tie of Justin Roberts and choke him out with it. Go as far as to spit on John Cena, which at the time was extremely taboo on account that WWE at that time was very heavily TV PG. This coming just a few years after the Benoit family tragedy. They had toned down quite a bit on the violence, if you will. The next week, all of the rookies from season 1. Learner, my day is good. I'm just at work finishing up here. Like I'm on my last break. Wanted to make a quick video for you guys. Mr. Default, quick question: do you smoke? No, I do not. I just have a bushy beard. But they had come on next week. They had exiled Daniel Bryan from the group. They had actually initially fired Daniel Bryan because he went overboard in the attack the previous week, and then they kind of wrote him off by saying Wade Barrett said that Daniel Bryan expressed Joker on drugs. Okay, if you're going to be disrespectful, then you can go away. So the Nexus would, week after week, they would randomly assault, whether it was Dusty Rhodes. 1 week Bret Hart got beaten down, Ricky Steamboat got beaten down, and the Nexus just kind of rose to this meteoric rise, and it all came to a head where they started to feud with John Cena, WWE's golden boy at the time. Yeah, John Cena. They would interfere in the main event of Money in the Bank that year, costing John Cena his cage match against then WWE champion Sheamus. And that would propel the Nexus into a feud with John Cena over the summer, which would culminate at SummerSlam in a Big Ten. Nice coming in. Any tips on how to get rid of my addiction for vapes and weed? I don't do either, so I really can't help you out on that, unfortunately. But so as we go into the summer months, big 7-on-7 elimination match is then pinned for SummerSlam, where John Cena and his team of WWE stars featured Edge, Chris Jericho, R-Truth, Bret Hart. Hold on. Sorry, so at work I don't want to have like intercom stuff going on. But yeah, so we get to SummerSlam, and it's Team WWE versus Nexus in a 7-on-7 elimination match, which it comes down to Wade Barrett for the Nexus and John Cena for Team WWE. Now, it's been reported several times by the likes of Edge, Chris Jericho, that Wade Barrett was supposed to go over on this night to establish the Nexus as this powerful entity that is a threat to the WWE. However, John Cena would play his, what I call, Hulk Hogan card, and he refused to do the job. He wasn't going to let Wade Barrett go over, and he was going to play his card, if you will, and he was going to go over, which he did, which severely hurt the Nexus badly, to the point where the Nexus would really never fully recover from that. It was a downward spiral for the Nexus from that point on. They even went as far as to do a match between Wade Barrett and John Cena at that year's Hell in a Cell, was if if John Cena were to lose to Wade Barrett, he would be forced to join the Nexus, and that's exactly what happened. Cena would lose the match to Barrett due to outside interference from Michael McGillicuddy and Husky Harris, who would end up joining the Nexus. And so there was a couple months where Cena was a part of the Nexus. He had to do, what Wade Barrett said. It would lead into a feud with Wade Barrett and Randy Orton over the WWE Championship. Barrett would unsuccessfully dethrone Randy Orton for the belt, which culminated in a December at TLC with Wade Barrett, John Cena. Once again, John Cena would literally bury Wade Barrett, literally and figuratively speaking, beat him in the chairs match, and then also buried him under 23 chairs to close the TLC pay-per-view. Now, the calendar moves over to 2011. Wade Barrett and CM Punk would face off, Wade Barrett and would be in a cage match, to which CM Punk would cost Barrett the cage match and thus become the new leader of the Nexus. Nexus was said to be under new management at that time, and then, of course, the new manager was CM Punk. Nexus, unfortunately, never got off the ground under Punk's lead, if you will. Punk would bring in a couple of new members, but the Nexus never recovered from the burial at SummerSlam. New Nexus was a thing until Money in the Bank of 2011, when CM Punk and John Cena would face off for the WWE Championship. In kayfabe, it was Punk's last night with the company. Punk would win the WWE Championship, and then he would split. Then pretty much the Nexus died at that particular point. It's unfortunate, because who knows what the Nexus would have or could have been had they gone over as they were supposed to at SummerSlam in 2010. Nexus was actually one of my favorite factions at that time. They had 12 Stones would play their theme song called "We Are One," which was just absolutely awesome. Their motto was, "If you're either Nexus or you're against us." I remember I always wanted a Nexus shirt. I never could find one in my size, but it was always cool to see. But I wanted to resurrect this series, if you will. If you guys have other shocking pro wrestling, now keep in mind this is the 11th installment in this series. Check out the playlist to check out the other installments of this series. This actually also houses my most watched video on YouTube. It's actually Do You Remember episode number 3, which is Kurt Hennig swerving the Horseman to join the NWO at Ball Brawl 1997. Currently sitting at almost 4,700 views. So this series definitely has a special place in my heart. I've been wanting to resurrect it for a while. It's just obviously with me moving and whatnot, it's kind of been on the back burner, if you will. I know there's 2 episodes I'm going to be getting notes for, and all that. One of them is the Benoit family tragedy. I think that's probably the most shocking moment in all of professional wrestling. And then the other one is the Montreal Screwjob. Bret Hart getting screwed out of the WWE Championship at the 1997 Survivor Series. Those are two installments that are coming for this series. But let me know in the comments, what other shocking moments do you want discussed? Because I'm sure there's probably a lot more that I don't have. Check out the playlist and whatnot. As far as gaming content or whatnot, we're going to have more gaming content coming at you this weekend. I worked the early shift this weekend, so you guys will get me in the afternoon and the evening. And then on Wednesday morning, I will be leaving for West Plains, Missouri, and I will be heading to the 69th Annual ICGMA Award Show, where I will have plenty of content on the channel with the event, having interviews with artists and all that sort of stuff. So even though I'm going to be gone for a few days next week, you guys will still get me here on the channel. So with that being said, I want to sincerely thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We are on the road. We are almost at 550 subs. And with that being said, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you would, pretty please. It does help the channel grow. And with that being said, we'll catch you guys in the next video.